It was wearing my brother's face, standing at the edge of the tree line, calling my name in his exact voice. But my brother was standing right next to me, watching it too. And then it smiled, not the way my brother smiles, not the way any human smiles. Too wide, too slow, like it had learned what a smile was, but never actually felt one. My name is Ethan Cross. I am 31 years old. I grew up in a small town outside Flagstaff, Arizona. Navajo Nation territory borders our county. I grew up hearing stories. Every kid in that area does. Stories about things that live in the desert. Things that walk on two legs but are not human. Things that can look like people, sound like people, until they can't anymore. My grandmother, a Navajo elder, told me one thing when I was 7 years old. She held my face in both hands and looked directly into my eyes. If something calls your name from the dark and you cannot see what it is, do not answer, do not look, and whatever you do not let it see your face. I was 7. I thought it was just a story. I was 26 before I understood she was warning me. It was August 2021. My brother Ryan and I drove out to the Kaibab Forest, about 40 miles north of Flagstaff, for a weekend camping trip. We had done it dozens of times before. Same area, same trails, same campsite near the creek. Nothing unusual about the drive out. Nothing unusual about setting up camp. It was a perfect August evening. Cool air, clear sky, stars so bright they looked close enough to touch. The first sign something was wrong came around 10 p.m. The animals went quiet, not gradually, not one by one, all at once. Every cricket, every owl, every sound the forest makes at night, gone. Ryan noticed it first. He put down his coffee and looked up from the fire. "You hear that?" I listened. Complete silence. Not peaceful silence, wrong silence. The kind that means every living thing in those woods has stopped moving because something else is moving instead. We sat by the fire for another 20 minutes, not talking much, just listening. The silence held, and then, from somewhere in the tree line, maybe 60 feet away, I heard my name, not shouted, not called loudly, spoken, quietly, conversationally, like someone standing right behind me had just said, "Ethan." I turned to Ryan immediately. "Did you just say my name?" He shook his head slowly, eyes already moving toward the tree line. We both stared into the darkness between the trees. Nothing, just black space between the pines. Then my name again. Ethan. Same voice, same tone, but this time I recognized it. It was Ryan's voice. I looked at my brother. His mouth was closed. He was staring at the tree line. He had not spoken, but his voice, his exact voice, had come from 60 feet away, from the dark, from something standing in the trees. Ryan grabbed my arm, hard, and pointed. There was a figure at the edge of the tree line, standing perfectly still. At first I thought it was a person. The shape was right, the height was right, but the proportions were slightly wrong. Arms a little too long, neck a little too thin, standing in a way that no person stands, perfectly motionless, like a photograph of a person, not a person. And it had Ryan's face, not similar, not close, exact. His eyes, his jaw, his hairline, wearing Ryan's face on a body that was almost right, but not quite. It looked at me, and it smiled. That smile. I will never forget that smile. Ryan's mouth, Ryan's teeth, but stretched further than any human mouth stretches, pulled back too far, held too long, like it did not know when to stop. Ryan whispered, his real voice right beside me. "Don't look at it. Don't look directly at it." I looked away. We both did, eyes down, at the fire, hands shaking. For 3 full minutes we sat like that, not moving, not speaking, waiting. Then it spoke again. My name, Ryan's voice, but different now, closer. I broke. I looked up. It was standing 15 feet away. It had crossed 45 feet of open ground without making a single sound. Up close, it was worse. The face was still Ryan's, but the eyes were wrong. No reflection, no depth, flat, like painted circles, like eyes that had been copied. But the thing doing the copying did not understand what eyes were for. Ryan stood up slowly, grabbed both our bags without breaking eye contact with the ground, whispered, barely moving his lips, "Walk to the truck. Don't run. Don't look at it. Don't answer if it calls." We walked, slow, steady, eyes forward. Every step I expected to hear something behind us. Every step I wanted to run. It called my name 4 more times as we walked, each time in a different voice. My mother's voice, my grandmother's voice, a voice I didn't recognize at all, deep and wrong, and not from any throat that should exist. And finally, my own voice, calling my own name, back at me. We reached the truck, got in, locked the doors. Ryan started the engine without a word. I looked in the passenger side mirror as we pulled away. The figure was standing at the edge of the campsite, still wearing Ryan's face, still smiling, still watching. It did not move to follow us. It did not need to. We drove for 40 minutes without speaking. When we finally stopped at an all-night diner outside Flagstaff, Ryan sat across from me under the fluorescent lights and said the only thing either of us said about it that night. Grandma warned us. We never went back to that campsite. We never talked about it in detail again. But Ryan sleeps with every light on in his house now, has for 4 years. And he told me recently that sometimes late at night, his phone rings, no caller ID, and when he answers, he hears his own voice on the other end, saying his name back to him. He never answers anymore. Neither do I. If you are ever camping and the forest goes completely silent and something calls your name in a voice you recognize, do not answer. Do not look toward the trees. And whatever you do, do not let it see your face, because once it learns your face, it never forgets, and it never stops looking. Sleep well, and if stories like this keep you up at night, you are not alone. Subscribe for more horror stories. Every week, new story, new nightmare. See you in the dark.